Hi everyone, welcome. Thanks for joining me for my weekly card creation series. This is the first of my July series, which is the Celebratory Sips suite we'll be working with this month. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a regular, thank you so much for joining me as well. I'm so glad you are here. How my card creation series works is that you have the option of purchasing the kit for $45, and I will have links up when I finish with this video, or you can get the kit to make all 4 cards for the series free when you place an order of $100 with me during the month of July. So this month, each month the product will vary. So today our card is this card, and it's a technique-based class, so I will share with you some fun watercoloring techniques and a few different ways to create that card. So I hope you stick with me and ask any questions you have, and please introduce yourself, tell me where you're joining from, and I'll love to help you as if you have any questions today. So you can also purchase the PDF tutorial. It's $20, and I generally send that out at the end of the series, so which is generally the start of the next month. So once I have finished it all, and then you can get the tutorials, and that's in both metric and imperial, you get that. So I'll switch the camera around and you can see this better. So there's our card, and it's World Watercolour Month in July, so I'm sharing with you some watercolor techniques using this suite. And we'll start with the watercoloring bit. There's a few things, a few elements to this card, so we'll go through them, and I want to show you how I've put it together as well. It's just nice to just some layout tips I have for you. Hi Lucia, thanks for joining. So and it's a different color palette too to what you get in the suite, so it might inspire you to work with other colors outside a suite, because this has beautiful paper, and I'm using some of the paper, but you can mix and match and create your own little color palette there, and with anything that works with those colors. So pick one color and then you can work with it. So I've got some fluid 100 to do my watercoloring, and I've also got some basic white to do some stamping. I hope you have been having a good day. It's been a busy day today. I feel like we like you plan to kind of do stuff, and things don't quite work out how you plan to do it, but that's okay. You have to go looking for a car for Cassidy, so that was one thing we had to do, because she had her old car was not playing nice, and so we had to do that, and that takes a little bit of time. So what we're going to do is start with some elements here. I'll do the watercoloring last, because it can get a bit I guess get a messy surface. So I've got the strawberry. This is the stamp set. So you get lots of little elements there that can be used with this. I'll pull that up a bit so you get a bit of view. So you get lots of different elements, and there you get the dies that die cut, all of them as well. So I'm going to be using the strawberry. I'll be using the little umbrella, the lemon or the lime or orange, whatever you want to use, some ice, and some of the leaves. So to start off with, I'm going to stamp this a couple of maybe Yeah, a couple of strawberries. Just leave a bit of a gap on your piece of cardstock. Now in your kit you'll get all this. You'll get the cardstock to stamp on. And then I'm going to also stamp these leaves. Now I'm going to stamp a few extra only because I want some for decorating the inside of my card. I'll just do 3. And then I'll have one for the envelope as well, if I want to. So that's in black. Now the umbrella, I chose to do it, stamp it in blue in Asia Afternoon. So I've used the combination of that Asia Afternoon. I think I put it back here. Yeah. There's a lot of little stamps. Easy to get lost. If you didn't catch my video from earlier this afternoon, I kind of came in, ran in the door and decided to do one showing you the kit from the virtual album, month by month virtual album kits. I showed that as well. So you can take a look at what's in it, like basics, what's in there. It just helps sometimes with deciding whether you want to be enrolled in it. It is worth the money, I personally think, and I've had some good responses on that. So, like, good feedback on others who have purchased that. So, if you're looking at starting scrapbooking, I think it's worth like as well, because you get trying to get a piece of scrap paper, but that's okay. Maybe I have one here. This one's a bit messy, but that's all right. Just want to get a backing under it. So we're just going to stamp. Let me stop the distraction there and put it under. That's a bit better. Right, so we'll start for the strawberry. I'm using strawberry slush and the dark floaty flamingo. So I'm starting with dark strawberry slush. I'm just using the brush in just for, it's not an overly detailed image. Then I'll go in with light strawberry slush. So I'm going in a diagonal direction, and then dark floaty flamingo, and that kind of tones in well. I did try Pretty in Pink, and that was too light, I felt. It gives you a nice tone here, just with the mix of colors. Now I'm going to use Honey Apple Green for the leaves or the stem part. Stalk. I don't know what the things on the strawberries are called. Hi, Masri. Thank you. Like the colors. Something different. I do like Asia Afternoon. It's a nice color, isn't it? Now I'm going to add, while I've got the green, I've got to color the center of these leaves in kind of the light granny apple. Just doing a fairly quick job. And this is very rough. I'm sort of just filling in that. Just going up that vein a bit towards the center. And then I'm going to bring in my Softly foam. I'm going to fill in just the base there. Just blend that in. I blend it in and sometimes over because I'm mixing two completely different colors. And then the light soft sea foam. So I'm still having the bringing in that granny apple green just with some part of it, and but it's got some change in tone there and change in color, and variation is nice. I probably need a new soft sea foam. It's a little bit light. Okay, I can see a little bit of white here. The next thing, oh, I forgot my little, it's going to be a line. Wonder whether he'll fit in there. Maybe, not sure. So I'm going with, again, dark granny apple green in the center. And then light granny apple green on those segments. I have left a bit of white space on this just to, it adds something, and so it's not completely covered. I'm just going around the edge. I'm going to bring in that dark soft sea foam and blend that in. Right, so for umbrella, I have got Pool Party. And so, and light Asia afternoon. So I'm going to bring that just at the top. The dark Pool Party. And then the light Pool Party. So we've done our coloring. We have to do some die cutting, and while I'm at it, we're not going to stamp these cups and things. We're going to be just die cutting them straight. So we'll die cut them as well. So we have got, that's the easy part, that one. So I've got this. I hope you are joining for our free class with the Stamping Lounge that will be held on the 26th of July. It's a Christmas in July class. It is like a regular class that we have. So it's the full, you will get the full experience of a class, like our monthly classes. You will get 3 projects, 3 PDF tutorials, the whole thing, a live Zoom session. And if you're unable to join that, you will also have the replay, and that's all on a Facebook group. And also you have access to it on our private classroom, which is a separate website. So you don't have to worry that Facebook is going to delete that or anything like that. So please come and join us. It is free. Generally, one of our classes is we charge $24.95 for a class. So it's a Christmas gift in July. So come and have some fun. We're using different products. So it won't be the one product, whereas like normally for a class, we will try to work within a bundle or something like that. So we're using some of new products, and it's going to be fun. So, I had not used that strawberry before. It's very cute. The Stamping Lounge is a membership site, a community for crafters, or if you're looking to get crafting, you don't have to be a crafter, but we teach and have a library of content, but every month we have a class and a Zoom session, mystery challenge. We just had one on Saturday. That was just yesterday. I'm trying to get my days all organized. Yeah, and Kayla did that. That was fun. Now this is not quite, maybe I'm going to miss some, but that doesn't matter because I'm going to, cut some of it off anyway, so it doesn't matter that it might be a bit off. Yeah, Kayla ran that, and that's always fun because it's interesting for us too, trying to tell people what to do without showing people what to do on a mystery session. You have to give very good instructions. It could be upside down for all you know, the way we say it. It's all about interpretation. And if someone has it upside down, it doesn't look bad. It's just how it's meant to be. Because it's just how they worked it out in their head, and that's what card making is about. But this strawberry moved a bit, but I can use that on the inside, and if I need to cut it apart. So that's all right. Nearly done. And the other thing I have is this little thing. I don't know. It's a stir or something. But I'm going to use it like my umbrella. For my umbrella. Because the one they have is like a stamping one. There isn't one. So I'm just going to use it in lieu of the stamped handle. That's the word. I'm just going to cut one out of this. I think they're called stirrers. I don't know what they're called. It's funny me doing this sweet because I know nothing about cocktails and things. Zero knowledge. So you might get some wild ideas here because it's just my imagination. All right, so now we're going to get our fluid 100 and we're going to cut the two glasses. And you can stamp these, but I'm not going to. I just wanted it as is. Now this one is, or you can use as is, but what it's going to do, I'm going to put that in the middle and it's going to emboss it. Like one of those really old vintage kind of glasses. So this is on Fluid 100, which is a watercolor cardstock, so it takes in that water better. So this is how that looks. Oh, it's a bit tricky to see, isn't it? You can see that better. Once I yeah, there you can see it better. Yeah. We'll see the detail on it when we use our watercoloring. Right, so what we're going to do is just use a water painter or a brush, whatever you have. I'm going to put these aside here before I lose anything. This the designer series paper also has a little elements which you can fussy cut, so that's a good paper to have. I'm going to work, just bear with that, take that away if I can. See whether I can cover that. Okay, work directly on this. Now the colors I was thinking of using, I have used some kind of where's my Asia? Yeah, okay. So for this glass, the longer one, I used the Asia Afternoon and the Coastal Cabana. And for this one, I've used a bit of Granny Apple, Shy Shamrock, and Pretty Peacock. Making sure I haven't used anything else. I'm going to move that aside and start with this glass. So have a fairly wet brush, and you can even wet the actual surface. It helps a bit. And you can see the condition of my ink pad, and that's because I do a little bit of watercoloring here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going kind of squeezing my brush as I release the color, so it's very liquidy. Right. So there's a lot of movement on that water. I could always bring in the color again. I'll put some ink refill. Our ink refills come in bottles like this. So drop a bit on there. You can pick up a little. And now I'm going to go like that. Right? It's just going to take that. It's going to flow into, like you're doing, mixing the color. Right? And I like how that flows into that granny apple green. It looks really pretty cool. It looks like a science experiment. Now you can just be very careful when you're bringing the next color in. That you could dry it. I'm just going to add a very little bit of Pretty Good Peacock. Now I'm not making it overly saturated. I'm just bringing it in here. And once it's a little bit more dry, I'm just dabbing it here. So I want a bit of blue up the top, right? And what I'm going to do is get a bit of scrap. And I'm okay with it going a bit over that, right? It just went a bit too high, but that's all right. I'll just work with that. I'm going to get that a bit of peacock, pretty peacock down there. Ideally, you want to leave it to dry well, like by itself. Just going to take a bit of that color off. Just leave it like that and it'll be fine. I'm going to cover that a bit with leaves and things, and it's got a bit, you could put it on an angle and then it'll look a bit tipsy and it's gone to the side. That's okay. I wanted a bit of white, but that didn't happen, and that's, I'm just going with it. Now the next glass, I'm going to add some Asia Afternoon. And this one too, you don't need much. You can see that nice color coming through, and you can see the design, I should say, coming through. I wanted to put in, I'm sure I have some Asia somewhere, but instead of getting my ink refill and hunting around for it, I'm just going to do this, and this is another option. I want it darker at the base. So this is more like a water glass or something very fresh and for the outer, I'd use some Coastal Cabana. I don't know whether you recall, like in the olden days, olden days when I was a young child, those vintage glasses that had that sort of greeny tinge to it, those drinking glasses, that's what I'm sort of thinking of. I'm sort of bringing that in, and then I will add that Asia Afternoon a bit more, right? So I'm going to create that look of a base. And again, I'm bringing in some of that Asia afternoon, and it'll make it darker here. It dries really beautiful. And if you haven't tried watercoloring, I encourage you to give it a try. It's a fun technique and different results every time, but lots of fun. So I'm bringing in a bit of that color down. All right, so we have got our 2 glasses done. I'm thinking if I had one of those leaves, I could do it like that, right? And just kind of cover that up. So I'm going to give it a dry with my heat gun just to speed up the process a little bit. That actually looks like when you mix drinks together, or like mix a syrup or something, even like a cordial, and you could do it like that. But it has that nice gradation in color, which is nice. If I'd left it just to dry by itself, which could take a little bit of time, and I didn't want to do that. Right. So make sure this is dry. I'm going to stamp some ice blocks onto that. Okay, so we've got some ice here, which I am going to stamp in Coastal Cabana onto that. All right. So we've got that on the card and all our little things here. Now, next I've got is I've die cut a circle, and I've also got some of these hibiscus leaves from the Happy Hibiscus. I've got a few. Just it's good to have some things to play around with, and just to make yeah, when you do that, it's nice to have a few extra bits to do your arrangements. So I went and stamped on the wrong bit, so I've got to cut another bit. That's me bad, because I cut the piece. I stamped on the piece I was meant to mat on, which sometimes happens. Because I wasn't concentrating. Oh no, yeah, I kind of forgot. I just picked whatever piece I came first. Got a problem. Sorry, I'm on a live. So when that's what happens when you don't tell the rest of the family you're doing a live. Okay, right. Here we are. Yeah, that's good. And that will go up there. And that's on there. And then normally I would put like DSP or cardstock or something like that. Instead, I'm using the Secrecy ribbon, which is quite nice actually. So now I'm going to emboss this with one of our older embossing folders, which has been a little while past the painting one. I didn't choose. This suite comes with 2 embossing folders. It's a mini dual, but I didn't choose that because I didn't think it quite went with, it didn't sit right on that top the way I had designed. So I wanted a different pattern. It's just they were mini and one had flowers and one was the glass, and I thought it was too blocky because this DSP I'd chosen at the bottom was blocky as well. So I just felt it was too much. So I went with something different. We've got 3 more cloths that we can use. Those embossing folders, they're pretty. So we'll stick that down together. Now, that's an old piece of cardstock, so I have just flipped it around and done that. Just glue that so that you have like an even background, like an even margin. And then the same at the bottom. That side's pretty too, isn't it? I love that side. Okay. Now we'll get some double-sided tape, tearing tape, and just add a bit right along the edge. Gonna stick that down like that. Okay, so for the sentiment, I'm going to be using the Cheers, and I will use Secrecy to stamp it in. Just as I pushing it a bit further up than I did on my original card. I think it needed to go a bit higher. And then when we add this, add dimensionals to the top and the bottom. So avoid the area which goes over the ribbon. Okay, so there we've got that and that. Making sure that I'm in the right spot. So we'll stick our first glass there, and I'm going to add dimensionals on the side here, and I might add the smaller ones actually. My original had larger ones, and I could even cut them in half. That'll be all right too. So let's go halves. because you need to kind of have it on this side, and this one's going to stick. Here it is. Where did it go? And this side will have glue on it. So somewhere there. For my lime, which is here, I'm going to snip I'm going to trim that down first a bit. Okay, and I'm going to take a wedge out of it so that it can sit there, and it looks like it's sitting on that glass nicely. Just makes it look a little bit more natural. Then I'm going to take one of my hibiscus leaves, and I think I'm using this because it has that tropical feel, and it goes with the kind of the feel of the sweet of this particular Cheers and Sips and the tropical drinks and things like that. So that's what I'm imagining. So I'm tending to go for some of those elements. The other week I was using the flowers from it, I fear, which were really pretty too, the little flowers. So you could go like that and give it a bit of a twist even, but make it nice. And I didn't kind of do it on my first one, but I think that's nice. Next one is our big glass, wider glass. I am going like that. Now, would I... Oh, we've got our little thing for the umbrella. So let's stick that on, even though it's not meant for the umbrella. I'm just using it in that way. It just gives you something to hang on to there. And I'm going to have that umbrella right there. Not quite the normal way I'd have it, but normally I'd have it on the glass, but just thought, okay, let's do something different. I have put that the wrong way in the sense of the die is of the little handle, but it doesn't matter. That's not going to be even seen once I add my leaves and things. So I've added the dimensionals in here, so you can't really see you can still tuck things under, which is what I like doing. So now here I'm kind of trying to make it not so obvious that I went to the brim of the cup. Which is kind of not what I intended to do, but it is what it is. And then we'll layer that leaf like that. Little ones, little dimensionals. Alrighty. And this one here, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue under there so it sticks, hopefully. And then I'll put a couple of dimensionals on my strawberry. The front is pretty much done. We've just got to add some gems. But I will get my bit of designer series paper for the inside. And you can even use a bit of Asia Afternoon, that one of the embossed pieces, like similar. Use the same embossing folder you have used. And if you don't want to use the designer series paper, you can do that. Something a little bit, bringing that Asia Afternoon to the inside. So I will have how you can purchase the kit. It's $45. Posted anywhere within Australia. It's track post. I will have that link later today, and I'll also provide the link to purchase the PDF. We can add one of these. And then I'm going to trim this because I had die cut it a bit funnily. It had moved while I was die cutting, so just trim it a bit. Okay, and there we have it, our card. Just going to pull that up a bit so it looks a bit nicer. Hold that, I've got a couple of extra leaves. Trying to clean up. So for embellishments, I'm using the strawberry slush gems. Now, I don't think these are from this suite, but it kind of went. These actually from Floral Impressions, I think. But they kind of tied in with that strawberry in there. So I hope you enjoyed that. That's our card. Let's me know what you think. And if there's any techniques that you kind of want to learn or anything like that, let me know, and I will endeavor to get them done and demonstrate them during a live session. So this is the one I did earlier. This is the one we created on the live. Similar, you can see the lighter color there of the watercoloring. So watercoloring does give varying looks, but it's a beautiful technique. So watercoloring month, give it a try and try your hand at that. Thank you everyone for joining me today. It has been lovely to share this first card with you for our card creation series. I hope to see you next Sunday for the next in my series, and on Wednesday for another create and chat session. Thank you so much. Have a lovely week, everybody. Bye-bye.